REMARKETER. Empowering Realtors.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me today. So our discussion is going to be about the importance of geographical focus in real estate and how we are going to be able to configure our website to portray that, and how we can then use that to display to our prospects where my areas of expertise are. So it's always been the thing in real estate that local expertise is a big thing. For forever and ever, we've been advertising ourselves as your local realtor, and we emphasize on the fact that I know the area inside out. A lot of the agents, take advantage of the fact that they've been born and raised in the area that they are farming, and that way we're able to provide a sense of trust when it comes to the prospects that I'm familiar with everything that's been going on in the market. In contrast to some sayings and some beliefs that real estate is the same across the board, and I can pretty much help anyone around the the area that I'm certified for. So for instance, for all the realtors here in Ontario, technically speaking, we can pretty much act anywhere. But we all know that real estate is not the same from city to city, from town to town, and even inside the GTA, where it's always been regarded as the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. Pockets are very different. Inside Toronto itself, pockets are very different. When you're looking at an area in, let's say, in North York versus an area in Etobicoke, they're both Toronto, but very different dynamics when it comes to the market. Even looking at the market statistics, we see very different dynamics again. In terms of the inventory, in terms of the demand, in terms of the type of properties that we're dealing with. Especially when it comes to the point where you want to place offers, if you want to, take your client, to the next step to purchase the property. That's where the local know-how comes into play. It goes a long way if you're familiar with the area, and for instance, there's been things like history of water damage to properties in a certain area, which it can really trigger the fact that you're going to be a little bit more focused on checking out the basement and the surroundings and stuff, or even the possibility of planned developments in a certain neighborhood. So is there going to be a new railway going by? Is there going to be a new highway going by? Is there going to be renovations to a certain community center, for instance? Is there a new building going to pop up in a little while? So these are all very, very important matters that you would have to know about a certain neighborhood when you are, helping your client to purchase a property there. Same thing goes for selling a property as well. So in any case, especially when you're buying a property, you need to have local knowledge, and that's what you want to be able to promote using your website. Now, before I begin, I just want to point out one thing: the role of your website. The role of your website is much higher than a poster on the internet. So just having your website shouldn't cut it for you. It should be a tool that represents you. It should be a reference point where your prospects are going to be able to verify what you are preaching, what you are advertising about yourself. So going back to the point, local and geographical focus is something that's very important, and I want to be able to promote that on my website. So let's go in and take a look at what needs to be done here. So I'll show you several different sections, several different areas of the website that are designed to do just that, and you're going to be able to go in and do more in terms of reflecting your own areas in there. All right, so at the very top of the website, it's usually about branding and your name and your logo and stuff. However, you can see here on this website that the video on the background is clearly showing downtown Toronto. So that alone speaks, the area of focus. So if I'm an agent who's mainly focused in, let's say, um, Richmond Hill or Markham or Newmarket or Barrie or Hamilton, and I have this video playing on my website, even though it looks good, it's going to send the wrong message. So I have to make sure that I'm using the right images when it comes to my website. So if you're mainly focused in the outskirts of Toronto, for instance, the type of buildings and the type of neighborhoods are going to be different. So you have to be really picky in finding the right video or picture that's going to sit right here on the background um, uh, of your website hero banner, basically. So that's the number one thing that you need to make sure that reflects the right. However, if I'm an agent who wants to position myself as an expert in condos and downtown Toronto, then this would be a perfect positioning tool for me. So this would be one of the things that's going to stress the fact that I'm an expert here. So don't just settle for the looks of it. Be very specific. Now, if you want to be a little bit strategic here, you could use pictures of a kitchen or a living room or a bedroom for the background of your website, which can give you a little bit more of flexibility in terms of what we're looking at. But even that is going to be different. So inside a Toronto loft is very different compared to the inside or the living room of a Richmond Hill bungalow, for instance. So that's very different. So let me show you how we can do this first. So the first thing that we got to do here is to log into the backend, and we would head out to the website design section right here. Click on website config, and right here we have several different tabs, one of which is the slider. So as you can see here, we've got two main sections here. So in my website right now, the photo slider control is off, and instead I have the video banner control that's on. That's why I have a video playing in the background right here. So if you would like to include a video banner on your website, all you would need to do is to switch this one off and then this one on, and then you can embed a YouTube video or embed a raw video yourself. So it's going to create the code for you and all that. So basically what I can do here is I can go ahead and select um, a video from a Pixabay gallery that the system is connected to. So for instance, I can say, I don't know, home. So these are several different videos that are available. And if I want to change the video, I can just go ahead and select that video right there. So let's say, for example, you can play and take a look at what it would look like. Let's check out this one. It's on a computer. Let's check out this one. This one's more of, building a home, for instance. Let's check out this one. Interesting. You don't always have to be so, um, picture of a house kind of thing on your website. You can be, human touch. It goes a long way in real estate. So you can include things like this one, which would be, just a little girl reading a book, on the bed. So it sends across the feeling of a home. Or for instance, this one, a fire. It sends around, the coziness of a home. So, you don't always have to have a picture of a house on your website. So you can be really selective there. So let's go ahead and use this one. For example, I can just go ahead and select it and save it right there. It's as easy as that, and it should apply. So there we go. So I have a video of my a fireplace playing in the background right now. So that's one way that you can go around the fact that you want to display a part of the city, for instance. Or if you want to be specific, you can go ahead and select one of these video footage that's available in here as well. Otherwise, you can select YouTube. If you have your own video, you can just upload it to YouTube and then use the link over here, and you can play the YouTube video on the background right there. So it's very simple for you to embed the YouTube video, or use one of these raw footages that are available in our system. So that's one way to do this. But let's go ahead and switch this off and instead switch on the photo slider option. So I can go ahead and click on load default, and this is going to load the default photo slider of my website. So let's go ahead and refresh that. So now I have a picture of a house and stuff. So now I can go ahead and change that. So I can change these pictures. Instead, again, I can upload any pictures. As I mentioned, we can go with things like a kitchen, for example, or I don't know, decoration, or they could be, pictures of the specific city, or, the type of the houses or the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So I can go ahead and, select different pictures here. And again, you can also select from Pixabay if you wish to do so. You can just switch this on and then select for, I don't know, search for bedroom. And here are a bunch of stock photos that are available for you that you can select from. And I can go ahead and add those to my media and select it right there. So I can select these pictures and save them. And there we go. As easy as that. We have these pictures now applied and looking good. So that's the first thing. Decide what you're going to display on your website right off the bat. We do have videos on configuring the website. You can see more. However, it's as easy as I just demonstrated for you right here. So check out the Academy module right here if you want to see more videos. A lot of videos are available right there. So let's stop here in terms of the looks of the website, the hero banner of the website. So that's one thing that you can definitely have an utilize to make an impact when someone comes to your website. Safest bet, pictures like that, which is just homey feeling kind of things, and they look good and they're modern as well. If you want to be more specific, you can really, select pictures from here. Now, one thing to remember when you're selecting pictures, do not, and I repeat, do not just go on Google, search for pictures and download pictures off the internet. You have to have image, publishing rights for the image. So the stuff that you could use from our collection are all royalty free, and you have the right to publish them on your website. But if you just download stuff off of the internet, you might be caught with using a picture that you're not authorized to use, and that could cost you a lot of money. Pictures do have copyrights, and you have to respect that. Same thing goes for videos as well. So you have to make sure that you have copyrights. There are a lot of royalty-free images out there, but searching on Google gives you a lot of nice and good-looking options, but you don't know if you're downloading a picture that you have the right to use on your website. Your website is a commercial website, and the people who hold the rights to those pictures are quite um, strict when it comes to using unauthorized pictures on a commercial website. So that's one thing to always remember. All right. So let's go back to the website and see what else we have here that can really give me that sense of local know-how. The other thing that is important here on the website, and it's available to you to use as a tool to portray local know-how, is the market reports right here. So the market reports are you can select different market reports to be included here under the market report tab. These are automatically updated for you, and you don't have to really do anything to keep these up to date. However, you can select and include the market statistics that would be, would comprise the areas that you are focusing on. So again, market reports are very important. They act both as a tool. So if you quickly want to pull up market reports of Newmarket and talk about the inventory of the market with your client, you can simply go ahead and use it from your website right here. However, let me just go ahead and select this one right there. So yeah, for example, the inventory would be known right here. You have statistical information to talk about it. So it is a tool for you. It also, if someone comes to your website and just looks at the market reports, they could immediately see where are the areas of your focus. So this one here, so for example, we have North York, we have Newmarket, we have Ajax and Pickering from the east. So it's a little bit confusing because two of the areas are from north of Toronto, two of the areas are from east of Toronto, and it could be a little bit confusing because these are two very different markets. However, it's up to you, and it really matters for you to decide which areas you want to include here. How you can do that? Very easy. So again, we go to the website configuration. So as you remember, we went to website design and then website configuration. And then the other tab that we're looking at here is the extras tab. So under extras tab, what we have is a section for market reports. So here I can select the market reports that I want to include in there. So for instance, here I have North York, Newmarket. Now I'm going to change that to, let's say, Aurora and Vaughan. So now these are pockets, adjacent pockets, basically. So I've got North York, and then on top of it, Richmond Hill. Maybe you'd like to include Richmond Hill as well. So, but anyways, I've got Aurora, Vaughan, Newmarket. So these are the areas that I'm focused in, for instance. So let's go ahead and change this to Richmond Hill. So now it looks a little bit better. Again, it's completely up to you, but it matters to the audience. Some people have told me, some of our clients, that What if someone comes to my website who's looking for a property in Brampton and I don't have that here in the market reports section? So that's why I want to include everything from everywhere so I could address any opportunities out there. Uh, so remember this. Always think of it this way. What is the possibility of you landing a deal in Richmond Hill that you're focusing on and you're advertising in, and people know you within, you have purchased and sold properties in, and you have past clients in, and you have referrals coming to you from Richmond Hill versus the possibility of you getting a lead from who's looking to purchase in Brampton. Obviously, they're incomparable. If I've been working in Richmond Hill my whole life, and I know people in Richmond Hill, and I have tons of past clients in Richmond Hill, and I always get referrals from there. There, my possibility of my prospects are mainly going to be prospects of interest to Richmond Hill and not Brampton. And for me to sacrifice this 99% of my uh, business prospects uh, and give all that up just for the possibility of one shot at Brampton, who's probably not going to hire me anyway, because there are a lot of other agents out there who are a lot more proficient than me when it comes to Brampton real estate. That is not a correct strategic decision to make. So focus on the areas that you know is going to be a better chance for you to do business in, and do not sacrifice this for the mere opportunity of maybe down the road someone might come to my website who's not interested in this. So I don't want to sacrifice the trust that I'm building with someone. I've got 10 people coming to my website every day who are interested to purchase a property in Richmond Hill. Uh, what I'm doing here by showing Richmond Hill market statistics, I'm creating a better relationship with those 10 people versus one, maybe in a, you know, in several months that might come to my website for whatever reason, uh, who's interested to purchase in Brampton. So I don't want to sacrifice this to that. So you have to think strategic. You have to stick to your roots. You have to stick to your geography. This is where you're farming. This is where you're focused. And then if you are able to sign a contract with a client who's looking to purchase in Brampton, good for you. It's just mere luck, and it's good to be able to have that opportunity as well. So that's the thing that I wanted to explain to you at this point, and make sure that you understand that you're not sacrificing anything. You're building on the bigger opportunity that you have here. So I selected Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Aurora, Vaughan, and click save right here. Let's go back to the website and refresh that. So now we have different areas: Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Aurora, and Vaughan. So we have all of those statistics available for these four cities now. So again, I'm sending across a message that these are the areas that I'm focused in. And that's much more important than just saying that I've got a website that includes a lot of statistical information. No, I've got the website that include the statistical information about my areas. And that's the point I want to be able to send across. All right, let's go back to the homepage. So far we talked about branding and the market reports that can be utilized in a way that I can portray the fact that I'm an expert in certain areas. Now, the other section that's important for me to also select, if you wish to do so, is this section here. So we have a section that can be configured, great neighborhoods, great homes. So these are a bunch of predefined searches. So once you click on the search, it's going to take you to the area and start the search for that, uh, from that specific area. So if I go back and let's click on Barry, for instance, it's going to take me to Barry, and we can start searching. So don't worry, it's got all the listings, so it's not just Barry. So you can the map would include all the listings from all the boards that you have access to. So everything is available right there. No worries there. It's just that it centers the map on that specific area. Again, sending across the message. So you're giving the agent, you're giving the viewer the ability to start their search where it matters. So again, this has been placed here to give you the option to focus. So what we're going to be able to do is to select these areas as well. And how we do that is the same. So we go to website configurations, extras, and we have the custom search section right here. You can just easily go ahead and select. So let's go ahead and change that to the same selection here. So I want Richmond Hill, and then I want Newmarket, and then I want Aurora, and then I want Vaughan. Save. And if we go back and refresh the website, I can now see that I have Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Aurora, and Vaughan added to my neighborhoods here. So again, very easy to select and show a focus right here. So that's another section of your website that you can utilize to show a focus on your website. So again, of course you can purchase properties, and of course you can sell properties in, let's say, I don't know, Brampton or Mississauga or Oshawa or Barrie or even Collingwood. But you want to focus on the 99% of your clientele. You want to focus on the areas that you are present in. This is where you are active. This is where you go door knocking. This is where you have your bus branding, etc., etc. So all of that is available right here under the website configurations, the extras tab. So this is not configured by default on your website. So and you are not going to be able to configure that before you have your board feeds activated. So as soon as that is done, make sure that you come here and you select your custom search and market reports sections on your website. So this way they're going to show up, and you're going to be able to have that display that local expertise of yours right there. Okay. Now, you also have the option of creating even deeper focus. So that would be if we want to have a neighborhood focus, for instance. So that's another level of focus. Now, let me take you back to the website, and let's talk about another important section of my website, and that is the featured properties section of my website. So this is where I'm featuring the properties that I have purchased or sold or leased or whatever, right? So One thing that automatically happens on my website is that any property that I list in MLS is automatically going to be fetched and featured right here. So if I go to my listing manager, you can see that I've got the list of all my properties right here. And right here, we have this little heart icon where you can, select whether you want it to be featured on the homepage, meaning that should it be listed under this featured properties section or not. So all we need to do is to click on this little heart icon right here, and the listing is going to be featured among the listings here on the homepage under featured properties or not, in which case it'll only be available under the listing section right here. So under the available listings right there. So what we have here is a section on my homepage which is displaying some properties. Now, this is very, very, very specific. And probably the first thing that your website visitor is going to look at. So they can see, for instance, here that you've got a couple of sold properties and leased properties right there. And you can see that even though we're not allowed by TREB rules, by VAL rules, to show the picture and the details of the sold property, unless the person looking at it would register and log in on your website, and then they're going to be able to see the pictures, the sold history, the sold price, all of that information. But we still are able to show the type of the property as well as the area of the property. So you can see that we're saying that, okay, so I was able to sell a condo townhouse in Aurora Village. So that's very, very specific, a neighborhood. I've been able to lease a detached property in Bayview Village. So you can see that we are strategically showing information about what you've done, about your portfolio, that can make sense to the viewer on your website. So if you have listed properties and sold properties available in different, in the areas, in the neighborhoods that you are focusing on, this is the place to show it off. Same thing goes for active properties as well. So we have properties that are listed. So it's the type of a property and the area of the property. And then, they can click and see more. But just a glimpse here can tell a lot. So again, I have to make sure that I'm featuring properties that resonate with my focus areas right here. So that would usually be the case anyway. So if I'm active in Richmond Hill, it's most probable for me to have listings in Richmond Hill, previously listed and sold. So they already would be in those areas. And then here, I'm even showing the areas that I am focused in, the very specific neighborhoods that I'm focused in. Even if you don't have listings that are in a certain area and you want your website to support you with that area, you can certainly go ahead and add listings from a certain area and feature them on your website so that you can just send across the message, right? So that I'm active in this area. Let's imagine that you want to door knock in a specific neighborhood. So let's say you want to door knock in the, South Ridgevale area of North York, and of Richmond Hill, and you don't have any active properties in that area. So what I can do is that for the day that I want to door knock, or maybe for the week that I'm door knocking in that area, I can just go ahead and unfeature all of these properties from my website, so they're not featured anymore. Right, so I took them all out. So if I refresh here, no more. So they're all gone. It goes straight to new developments. And instead, go ahead and add a few other properties there. So let's go to search. That's Richmond Hill right there. Oops. So I think, there we go, that's Ridgeville. So let's take a few properties from Ridgeville. So obviously you would want to select properties that would be relevant to, the type of properties that you want to door knock on. So, I mean, if I list $9 million homes and $8 million homes, and then go knock on the doors of properties that are $1 or $2 million, then this is still not going to be relevant. So I want to be specific in the type of properties that I select. So let's say this one is a type of property that I might be knocking on the door of. Let's take this one as well. So I'm just opening them in a new tab, and let's take a look at these guys right here. So yeah, let's take this one as well. So I took 3 properties, for example, right? So this one, and then this one, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the MLS number, go back here, add new, add the MLS number. There we go. So I have one added. Let's do the other one. Add new. Put in the MLS number. I added the second one. And let's go ahead and add the third one. Add new. Add it in. So I have 3 properties added from the areas that, matter. So let's go to the homepage and see how the homepage looks like now. So if someone comes to my website now, they will immediately see featured properties from South Ridgeville, South Ridgeville, South Ridgeville. And I am door knocking in South Ridgeville. So yes, there's technicalities here. Maybe you want to take permission to advertise from the listing agent, because you're not the listing agent here. However, you're sending across the message that you're active in South Ridgeville. So during that week, when you go and door knock, if one of those people who you door knock and talk to are kind of interested, and they want to go back and kind of, find out more about you, and they go to your website and they come across this, they're going to see that you're active in South Ridgeville, right? And this is going to help you gain that trust from the person that you've worked so hard to door knock and talk to, because that's just the closing, that's the little bit that closes the loop for you at the end of the cycle there. So once you reinforce that trust that you require, then it's going to make things a lot easier. So you can see how your website is now acting to support your door knocking activity or any other marketing activity right there. So the person that comes to your website, if they go to Market Report, they're going to see Richmond Hill. Makes sense. They come here, they're going to see South Ridgeville. Makes sense. They go down here, they're going to see Richmond Hill at the top of the search, for instance. Makes sense. So this person is all about Richmond Hill, so I can trust this guy or this lady over, a ton of other people who also door knock on my door, and their websites don't just resonate with me. So I want someone who's an expert, who markets Richmond Hill, who's active in marketing Richmond Hill to sell my property. And if I'm going to refer somebody to you who's interested to purchase a property in South Ridgeville, again, I'm going to be able to be able to trust this person more than other people who don't really promote their expertise. The area of expertise that I'm looking to purchase or sell in. All right, so this is how you can, basically make use of your featured properties strategically as well. I just want to end my discussion. And there's a little bit more that you can do as well, but we're out of time, unfortunately. So I will definitely have another follow-up session on that. So to give you, a few more techniques in promoting areas, for instance. However, one thing that I want to just mention before we end our session today is this. Don't just let your featured properties section become the graveyard of your past sold properties. It's nice to show, I don't know, 200 sold properties, but they are all available under the sold listings. You can also create a custom section that promotes your sold listings and, send them over to that page. Having 200 sold properties here will beat the purpose. Keep the ones that make sense to what you're advertising for right now. Keep the recent ones there. So manage your featured properties, maintain it. That's very, very important for you to maintain your featured properties, to make sure that you have the right featured properties featured on your website at all times. All right, so let me just take a look at the questions to see if there are any questions. Good morning, George. Thanks. Sorry, I didn't see your message at the beginning. Welcome and thank you for being with us. Next question that we have is from Jennifer. Good morning, Jennifer. Thanks for your time with us. Do you have area for Muskoka and Parry Sound? So we do have a lot of different boards covered in our feeds across Ontario. And we also do have Muskoka and Parry Sound as part of them as well. So depending on the access that you have to those specific areas, you should be able to find those in the list here. So let me show you here. Sorry. If I go to website design, if I go to website config, let's go to extras, and I want to do market reports, for instance, right? So if I go to Barrie, you see I have two Barries here. Why? Because this agent, my account here, is configured with two separate feeds, TREP as well as Ortis. So Ontario Regional is an organization that represents the feeds of about 20-something boards, which would include, areas around, Parry Sound as well. So you can definitely search here, and you're going to be able to find that based on the area that you want. So if I go to Muskoka, it's not available here, so you can see that it's not in my drop down. That I think does not include it. Let me see. Parry, yeah, we have Parry Sound, however, which you could select and use, and that's part of Ortis. So depending on your board access, and you can find out about your board access right here. Sorry, let me change that view for you. Under your account settings, this is where are we? There, your board, as well as your board license number. So you make sure that this is correct, and then you're going to be able to access those areas. All right. If not, let us know and we can correct it for you. No other questions, so I'm going to leave it here. So remember, it's important for you to make sure that your website is reflecting the areas that you are active in, and make sure that you have those configured on your website. If you have any questions, if you run into any difficulties doing that, let us know, and we would be more than happy to help guide you through it. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any ideas or suggestions, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to hear from you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again next week, same time. Enjoy.